Deadliest catch Captain Keith Colburn. How is he after battling COVID? Deadliest catch Captain Keith Colburn may work the most dangerous job in the world. However, COVID's rogue wave took him down earlier this year. How is the F/V Wizards skipper doing now? Although Captain Keith Colburn has been working on the Bering Sea for decades, in the most difficult of conditions, COVID is what knocked him down. He spoke to Nikki Swift about his ordeal. This was something he never imagined he would encounter. He immediately went from the tough fishing captain to getting into the hospital and battling this out. Captain Keith had already finished his major seasons and grinding, but he got knocked down by the virus that has taken down the world. You know, I pride myself in being, like Mr. Safety. Then the self-deprecating captain admitted, yeah, except when it comes to my body, which is on the home stretch of COVID. After his ordeal, Colburn admits that he still needs oxygen. Yes, he is doing better and he is grateful, but this very tough captain still needs breathing assistance to survive. Calling it a bit of an ordeal, he is still hanging in there. Back in mid-April, Deadliest catch F/V Wizard captain shared some serious news on social media. Although this is usually Captain Keith Colburn's off time, he was battling the rogue wave of COVID-19. Turns out, in early April, he spent over a week in the hospital. Turns out, Captain Keith was being treated for serious COVID. In addition, he battled COVID-related pneumonia. Because this was such a huge battle, Captain Keith wanted to make sure that the millions of fans of the Discovery show understand how serious this virus is. Even though he got over COVID, his illness lingered on with the after effects of a COVID-related illness. Moreover, he wanted to make sure that everyone gets a vaccine. On a Twitter post, the captain wrote the caption, "COVID is real. I'm sharing my story in the hopes that it may help you take actions to steer clear of this virus. #COVID-19 #vaccine #on the mend #COVID pneumonia #day 8 #be safe #deadliest catch at Discovery @deadliest catch." In addition, Captain Keith spoke on a video. He wrote, "I'm on day 8 in the hospital. I had done a 10-day quarantine without any kind of medication in a foreign country. So I am working on 19 to 20 days now that I've had COVID." Next, Captain Keith explained. He wrote, "I am over the COVID. I believe I've got the antibodies now in my system naturally. But I am battling the remnants of pneumonia. This seems to have knocked him down harder than anything he has battled on the Bering Sea podcast." We speak with Captain Keith Colburn from the Deadliest Catch on the Discovery Channel about the #business of being a crab fisherman, Keith's unusual journey as an #entrepreneur, and the new season streaming now on Discovery+. The Deadliest Catch Season 16 continues to air on Tuesday nights and the Discovery+ networks. Georgia Macatello has several decades of writing experience, including travel writing, tech writing, art history analysis, and now entertainment writing. She loves to share the latest news on rom-coms and mysteries. Deadliest Catch Captain Keith Colburn. How is he after battling COVID? The television series Deadliest Catch has captured the high-stakes drama of crab fishing in the dangerous waters of the Bering Sea for over a decade. It has introduced audiences to a range of tough and gritty captains, but one of the most beloved among them is Captain Keith Colburn of the Wizard. Known for his no-nonsense approach and often playful demeanor, Colburn has become a fan favorite. However, in recent years, the public's admiration for him grew deeper when it was revealed that he had battled COVID-19, an ordeal that was not only physically challenging, but also emotionally and mentally taxing. This article takes an in-depth look at Captain Keith Colburn's health journey after contracting COVID-19, how it affected him personally and professionally, and where he stands now. How did the pandemic affect Colburn, a man accustomed to the perilous and demanding life of a crab fisherman? Let's explore how Captain Keith overcame this personal battle and how it shaped his life today. A storm on land. Keith Colburn's COVID battle in early 2021. Captain Keith Colburn made headlines when he revealed that he had contracted COVID-19. Colburn's health issues began with mild symptoms, but they quickly escalated. While Colburn has always been known for his resilience and ability to thrive under pressure, the battle with COVID-19 was a different kind of fight. He admitted to having difficulty breathing, experiencing extreme fatigue, and dealing with the mental stress of being sick during a time of uncertainty. Colburn's story took on an added layer of gravity when he opened up about the mental and emotional toll the illness took on him. As a captain, Colburn is used to making life-or-death decisions while out at sea, but facing was something entirely new. It forced him to reckon with not only his own health, but also with the impact it might have on his crew and family. Being at sea is risky enough, but to face something like this, at home, on land, was a whole different kind of battle. Colburn shared in interviews after his recovery. The pandemic hit hard for everyone, and for a seasoned fisherman like Colburn, who is used to working in isolation and tough conditions, the virus was a reminder that no one, no matter how strong or seasoned, is invincible. Struggling with long COVID, Colburn was fortunate enough to survive the initial battle with COVID-19. The lingering effects of the virus would prove to be just as challenging as the disease itself. In his interviews, he spoke candidly about the struggles he faced with what many refer to as long COVID, a condition in which symptoms persist for weeks or even months after the initial infection. For Colburn, this meant dealing with lingering fatigue, brain fog, and persistent breathing issues. These symptoms were not only exhausting, but also troubling for someone in a profession that demands peak physical performance. In the world of crab fishing, Colburn's mental sharpness, physical strength, and stamina are key to leading his crew. The fact that long COVID made these tasks more difficult was a harsh reality. Moreover, Colburn's usual energetic and tough demeanor began to fade. He found himself struggling to motivate himself and even questioned whether he could return to the job that had defined his life for decades. "There were days when I didn't know if I could go back out there," he admitted in an interview. "I love what I do, but COVID made me wonder if I could keep pushing through." Colburn's vulnerability in the face of these challenges resonated with his fans, who were accustomed to seeing him as the resolute, fearless captain. His openness about the emotional side of his COVID battle helped shed light on the hidden side of the pandemic and its long-term impact on people's lives. The road to recovery. Colburn's road to recovery was not a quick one. The Bering Sea might be one of the most dangerous environments in the world, but Colburn was accustomed to pushing through physical pain and extreme conditions. The real challenge came with his recovery from COVID-19, which required patience, rest, and time. Despite being faced with the physical toll, Colburn found ways to stay active and engaged, even when it wasn't easy. In fact, it was the support of his family and the desire to get back to the crew and the sea that ultimately fueled his recovery. His resilience and determination to overcome long COVID mirrored the very spirit that had kept him successful on the Deadliest catch. "Fishing is my life, but my family and health come first," Colburn said during his recovery. "I knew that if I didn't take care of myself, I wouldn't be able to get back out on that boat with the guys. That motivated me every day." His journey wasn't without setbacks. There were days when the fatigue was overwhelming, but Colburn kept working through the recovery process. He also turned to his crew and family for support, which played a critical role in his healing. The return to the sea after several months of recovery. Captain Colburn made his return to the Wizard and to the sea. His return was a moment of triumph, not just for Colburn, but also for his fans, who had followed his health journey and rallied behind him. When he stepped back on deck, it was clear that Colburn had not lost his touch. He was able to return to work with renewed strength, though it was still evident that the recovery process had left its mark. Colburn was more cautious and mindful of his health, acknowledging that while he was back to his old self, COVID had changed the way he approached his physical limits. The sea doesn't care if you're tired, it doesn't care if you're sick. It doesn't wait for anyone, he said. But I've learned to listen to my body more now. I have to know when to push and when to pull back. Fans of Deadliest Catch saw a more reflective Colburn, one who had survived a personal battle and come out stronger. He didn't just return as a captain, but as a more compassionate and patient leader, someone who understood the importance of health and well-being. Moving forward. A new perspective captain, Keith Colburn's battle with COVID-19 has not only changed his approach to his health, but has also deepened his connection with his crew and fans. He has come to value his family even more, and his journey has sparked conversations about the mental and emotional toll the pandemic has taken on people in all walks of life. I think we've all learned something through this, Colburn reflects. You can be tough, you can be strong, but that doesn't mean you're invincible. COVID taught me to be more grateful for the small things, the people around me, and the life I get to live. I'm lucky to be back on that boat.